Hi, crafty friends! Today I'm decorating 10 junk journal pages. These are mini notebooks that I made out of scrap papers using a long reach stapler. And then I decorated with all sorts of ephemera, doilies, and die cuts and stamped images. So there's two junky notebooks that I made. The first I'm going to do a flip through, and then I'm going to show you the creative process in the second one. So this style is a little bit different than traditional junk journals because junk journals have a more vintage look with antique colors or tea-dyed papers, actual vintage ephemera. And although I do have some of that going on, a lot of the papers I'm using are from old planners or scrapbook kits, no more than 5 years old at the time. So it's not like vintage, it's more modern. And I really love this style because the whole thing is so fun to flip through. It has like playful vibes, you know what I mean? I think classic junk journals are the cool girl at school, right? Super popular, timeless clothes, classic beauty, but my junk journals are more like, hi, I'm in the Yearbook Club and I have hot pink Converse and I like having fun with my friends roller skating after school. They feel more lighthearted in a way. Also, apologies for not mentioning this sooner. So this is a previous live video that I've edited down to just keep the essential bits. I have 122 live stream videos that I did, I think, during COVID times. I went like live pretty regularly and it was really, really fun. Okay, so my favorite thing about these notebooks is the base papers that I've used. So every paper is a different pattern or material, and the pages are all different sizes. I've even used vellum on some. And if you have a sewing machine or a long reach stapler, these are very easy. These little notebooks are very easy to put together. And when you're done, you have different and ready-made pages. Although honestly, I think it's more like a stage. That you like the kind that you like perform on. Like ready for once you have your page, once you've made your notebook, like it's ready for your sets. It's ready for your stars and performers, all the things that you're going to glue onto your page. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so one thing I don't want to forget to mention is this brown packaging. So this is from the packaging in an Amazon box. You know how they just like crumple up craft colored paper and just stuff it in your boxes? So I grabbed that because there was a ton of it in like my order or whatever. And then I used a stencil and some white ink to create this background. It's giving kind of like shabby chic vibes. But yeah, those online orders of yours might have your next junk journal background, so keep an eye out. A lot of the ephemera and die cuts and doodads I'm putting on my pages are either from paper collections or printable collections that I've purchased, which I highly recommend. So I think American Crafts, I think they still have a digital site. I can't remember the name of it, but I've purchased the digital versions of some of my favorite paper collections. So a lot of the things that you see are either like digital printables or a lot of the papers are also racks that have been sent to me. And a lot of them are also from where I used to work at the UK Craft magazine. So good times there. They used to have a table in the lunchroom where there would be piles and boxes of extra stamps, dies, yarn, because they also published soft craft magazines, so like sewing and knitting. So at lunch, you'd go and have a nosy, and I think I even got a few extras a few times for some giveaways for you guys back then. But yeah, a lot of these were like freebies, but also I had to be careful to not become like a craft hoarder because it would be really easy to just grab everything because there was just so much. But I only grabbed the things that I really loved and I could see myself using forever. And the things that I did end up keeping, like I still love them. As I audition my papers for their page or stage, I always notice something interesting. So it's easier to find a place for a plain element like a craft color tag or a simple die cut. They fit almost anywhere. But when a piece has lots of color or pattern and florals, it can take a little bit longer to decide where it belongs exactly. And I have to move it around until I find the spot where I think it's really going to shine. And sometimes I think people are a little like that too. So if you've ever felt like you don't quite fit in or like it takes longer to find your place, maybe it's not because you don't belong. Maybe it's because you're a beautiful piece of ephemera that just needs the right page to shine. Now, probably my favorite bit about this whole journal are the vellum pages. Vellum gives everything an instant fancy factor, so consider adding vellum to your junk journals. I kind of want to make a whole journal with vellum pages because I think it would be just like fancy to the max. So the main intention for these journals was to decorate them and then go back and actually journal in them, and I haven't done that. So I'm going to fish these out and do a gratitude journal. So I have a gratitude journal on a Google Sheet, but that's a little depressing, honestly. The things I'm grateful for need to be memorialized on something more substantial than a Google Sheet, although like my gratitude journal is both like big things and little things. Anyway, let me know if you have a gratitude journal. I think it's so important to at least have that because, man, there's so much to be grateful for. I wanted to share something that I heard recently before I forget. So, I think crafting is so much more than paper. It's a mindful activity that can help regulate your nervous system, right? You get some peaceful vibes, and it's also an outlet for your creativity. And I heard something amazing that I think is so relevant to us who like to make things. So it was something along these lines like, your talent is whatever makes you feel like you have God in your bones. And for me, when I'm layering and collaging and creating things with paper, especially doing this with my junk journals, I feel like God is there. There's just a lot of peace. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, yes. So crafting is important, and I hope you make time for it. And I hope that no one makes you feel less than for doing something creative that you love. And I also hope that the tips I share and the videos that I put out inspire you and help you cultivate your talents. I'm so happy with how this is turning out. Even though I made this years ago, I still love it. And something I've noticed is that my taste hasn't really changed in the last decade or even the last 5 years. It's it's almost like, okay, I know that when I like something, I'm going to like it forever. Like I'm going to love it forever. And that's kind of how I feel about you guys. Some of us have been online crafty friends for decades, and I want to continue being friends and maybe even meeting you all someday. I still dream about a crafty cruise or some kind of like crafty travel retreat. How fun would it be to all go to like Costa Rica for a few days and stay at a beach house and craft and look at the ocean, and then we'll each bring a suitcase full of crafty supplies and make all kinds of things, and then we can go zip lining in the afternoon and do something that gets us out of our comfort zones. It gets our creative juices flowing. I think that would be so much fun. Let me know if that's something that interests you because that would be a dream, literally a dream. Let's talk about shaker pockets for a bit. So this little plastic insert was from a planner. I want to say it was the Heidi Swapp, her first planner. I'm actually not sure if she still makes planners, but anyway, I thought I'd make a shaker pocket out of it. And it just makes me think, like, if you ever have an insert, like a little plastic insert like this that you want to use in a different planner, but the holes don't align or they don't match, just cover the holy edge with washi tape on both sides and punch new holes wherever you need them. So for me, I wanted to make a shaker pocket for my journal. So I found a cute die cut and I put a backing card to it so it's not all loosey-goosey in the pocket. And then I added some sequins for a little fun shaker element. And then I'm going to use washi to seal the top. Or if you have a glueless hot glue gun, you can seal it that way too. So just get a glue gun, take out the glue stick, squeeze it, make sure there's no excess there, and just allow it to heat by itself without a glue stick inside of it. And you can use that to fuse your inserts, like shaker pockets that you want to make. You don't need like a fuse tool or anything like that. I have a very old tutorial about how to make shaker pockets with a glue gun. So I'm going to try to fish that out, find it somewhere in the archives, and link it in the video description for you. Okay, so for my shaker card, I'm gonna put it in the inside of my front notebook cover, and I'm just gonna stick it down with some washi. And in retrospect, I should have put a card on the outside of like the back part so that it wouldn't look so awkward. But I guess I'll use like double-sided tape and a little sentiment card, and so I can just glue that right on the outside of the shaker. This frame is from a frame die by Linda Canasi for Sizzix, and it's one of my favorite dies. They still have some, and I've linked it in the description for you. Also, during my time working at Sizzix, I worked with Linda, and she's a ray of sunshine. We would say good morning to each other every day, even if it wasn't morning, because we'd actually miss each other a lot of mornings because, you know, you just get busy. She was really fun. She was really nice, and I have met the kindest, most amazing people during my crafting career and the different like jobs that I've worked. I've been really lucky, and I'm so grateful for those experiences. Some of these papers I'm using are old planner dividers. I think the one I'm using is Corey the Reset Girl's first planner. But yeah, I love these journals because you can use anything. You can take apart old planners you've never used, or Amazon packaging, like anything goes. Use it all. All right, this is the end, friends. Thank you so much for your patience with this video, especially to the original people who watched this live on the original air date. You guys are real ones. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon. Bye!